It's hard doing something for a long time, getting up every single day and you're not where you want to be at just yet, and then doing it again the next day and doing it again the next day. That's actually hard, but you're building your mental endurance. Stop looking for the end result and just enjoy the process, bro. This is not fairyland, bro. You got to put in work in the real world, bro. Anything worth having is going to take hard work. You got to understand that. It's not going to fall in your lap.
And that alarm clock goes off at 4 or 5 in the morning, your mind says no. You just say, this is what we do. It's what we do now. But we are in control of our mind. We believe it's the other way around. No, we put in our minds what we should do.
If you can list the things that have happened in your life and you put that on a list and somehow you've made it past all of that to be in a position where you can still go on to make great shit happen, that's something that you have in common with every hero or autobiography of a great person. Every great person you admire was built in wreckage, not in the spotlight, in the storm. The addiction, the betrayal, the loss, the loneliness. If you've lived through it and you're still here trying, you're already carrying the same blueprint as every legend who ever rose. Your pain isn't the end of the story, it's the origin chapter. It's the reason your name is even worth remembering, because people don't connect with perfection, they connect with survivors. People who bled, broke, and rebuilt anyway. If it didn't break you, it built you. And if it built you, you owe it to yourself to go all the way through with it. Wherever you are right now, that's not failure. That is part of your process. That's the in-between. And one day, someone's gonna look at your story the same way you once looked at theirs. You are not behind, you are becoming.
Brother, time isn't your greatest asset. Your focus is. See, time just passes, but your focus is what happens while it does. So your life is a direct reflection of where you place your attention. So you either count your hours or you make your hours count.
The hardest person to face is yourself. Be honest with your why. Be honest with your words. Be honest with your work. Expect more from yourself than you could ever expect from someone else. Do the work necessary. It's not all sexy. It's the gritty, hard, dirty work. The work that keeps you up late and makes you wake up early. The work no one wants to do, but the work that still needs doing. There is no winning without the work. You know what you deserve.
If you consume enough of that content, if you read enough books about people who have embarked on certain kinds of journeys and made certain choices, that at some point you might introject some of their personality and their responses and subconsciously start making decisions, hopefully positive decisions, on your own behalf, maybe having more appropriate boundaries, maybe taking better self-care or care of other people. And that without even realizing it, you're starting to make better choices on your own behalf. And then at some point, you move from the introject to a recognition that, wait, it was me that made that change. I'm the one that managed to get up a bit earlier and do a little bit more, or to be kinder in this context, or to listen a little bit better in this context. And over time, we start to ascribe those changes to ourselves.
You might be frustrated, you might be spinning your wheels, you might be ready to quit. But you also might be one day from that one moment.
Every morning, every day of our lives, we have choices to make. You have the choice to stay in bed, to say, forget it, I'm not gonna work out today, or forget it, I'm not gonna work hard today. You always have a choice every single day of your life.
The universe rewards resilience, and the signs of it are all over the world. You just have to know where to look and what to look at. Become that river on that rock. Over time, you can achieve any goal if you stick with it.
Man, you gotta learn how to dig deep in your life. Things are gonna happen in your life. Parents die, animal dies, a lover, a wife, a good friend. You decide when you don't want to fail anymore. You wake up one morning and go, you know what? These are all things I cannot control.
Doubt is such a strange thing. I mean, it's, there'll be times where you succeed and there are times that you fail. So wasting your time doubting whether you're going to be successful or not is pointless. It is. And if you just put one foot in front of the other, you control what you can't control, and then you see what the outcome is, right? If you win, great. you're gonna have to wake up the next day and do the journey over again. If you lose, it sucks, but you're gonna have to wake up the next day and do the journey all over again anyway.
You're not gonna get around the rise and fall and the rise and fall. Endure when it's time to endure, enjoy when it's time to enjoy, you know, but you're not gonna get around the ups and downs of that. It's not because I'm weak. It's not any of that. It's like, that's what life is.
And if you stop right now, all you've done is guarantee that you never reach that moment. When things get hard, it's very easy to question what you're doing. It's very easy to start looking for a new path. It's very easy to quit. And that's why most people do it. No matter how much you're struggling, no matter how long you've been working, keep going.
We're all a work in progress. Growth has no end. Your story is still being written. You're the writer and the narrator. There's no limits to self-improvement because no one can ever truly reach a state of perfection. Everything around us is always changing, and so we must evolve too. Don't ever make the mistake of thinking that you're finished. It doesn't matter how far you still need to go. All that matters is that you're still trying.
It's not just about what do you want, it's especially about what are you willing to sacrifice for this. This is the question. What type of sacrifices are you willing to go through? What type of suffering are you willing to take? And based on that, it determines what can you reach.
If you have a dream, if you have a goal in life that you want to accomplish, I can tell you, hard work, dedication, determination. Take small steps, and sooner or later, they will continue to grow and grow and grow into bigger accomplishments. Believe in yourself, stay strong, stay focused. No matter what, the bad times don't last forever. If someone tells you you can't, you prove to them that you can. If someone fires you from a job, when one door closes, another door opens. Always believe in yourself. Don't try to be like anyone else. Live your ideas to the fullest. And always believe that no matter what happens in your life, it's for a greater purpose.
Like, I can't say this enough. Stop waiting. Do not waste your life waiting, worrying, or wishing for things to change. You gotta want it enough to do the work. Your dreams have a brick path that will get paved every single day, one brick at a time.
How many times have you told yourself you're going to do it? How many times have you told yourself tomorrow? How many times have you told people what you were going to do? You know where all that talking has gotten you? Nowhere. You have not moved the needle once. I know it kind of feels like you're doing it when you talk about doing it, when you think about doing it, when you plan to do it, but the reality is you have not done anything. So when are you going to do it? At what point does the talking stop and the action begin? If it's at any other point than right now, you are not serious. You don't want to do it. You want to keep indulging in the that got you in the position where you want to change instead of just actually changing. Nobody who is that serious about change, knowing how hard it is to change, waits until tomorrow to do it because they don't want to spend another second being anything other than what they could be.
Consistency is having a goal, and when you wake up that day and you don't feel like it, you still do what you told yourself you was gonna do. That's all consistency is. It is the days you don't feel like doing it, and you realize that I am where I am because of other people's sacrifice. I gotta get up and make it happen, even though I don't want to get up and make it happen.
Make your future dream a present fact by assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled. So whatever it is that you would like to experience in your life, you must be able to feel it. So live in the feeling of being the one you want to be, and that you shall be. Every feeling makes a subconscious impression. And unless it is counteracted by a more powerful feeling of an opposite nature, it must be expressed.
Greatest people on the planet have suffered the most. Suffering is not bad. I'm suggesting suffering is awesome. The ego runs from suffering because it's the death of the ego. But I believe pain, difficult times, failure, loss, is purification and preparation for personal heroism.
You are not your losses. One misstep doesn't define who you are. If you've lost or failed, so what? Stop being the victim. Feeling sorry for yourself isn't going to get you any closer to your goal. It's not a loss if you learn something. So take accountability for the damage that was done and just keep moving forward.
So this is how you level up. That's how you level up. Because I know there's so many people that have the ability and just refuse to get off that couch. Refuse to study a few more hours, refuse to go deeper, to go further. And that's where I gain the advantage. It's so easy to be great nowadays, my friend, because most people are weak. Most people don't want to go to that extra mile. Most people don't want to find that extra because it sucks. It's miserable. It's lonely.
One of the things limiting you from your income, your impact, a world-class life, you care too much about what people think about you. You can be world-class, you can fit in with the world, you don't get to do both. One thing I've learned is everyone has an opinion. Why let the opinions of other people deny you from a life that will make history?
It's not better to be safe than sorry. Step out and bet on yourself. You're the surest thing in the world. Quit asking other people if they think you could do it. What they think has got nothing to do with you.
Your dream is possible. Not only is it important that you believe and begin to know that it's possible for you to live your dream as you run toward it, but I've done something that I want to share with you called choosing your future. It's necessary that you work on yourself, that you develop yourself. It's necessary that you get the energy drainers out of your life, people who don't want anything, people who are not striving, people who are not challenging themselves, people who aren't growing, people who have stopped dreaming. It's necessary that you align yourself with people and attract people into your business who are hungry, people who are unstoppable and unreasonable, people who are refusing to leave life just as it is and who want more. My mother used to say, birds of a feather flock together. If you run around with losers, you will end up a loser. It's necessary that you get the losers out of your life if you want to live your dream.
Count on me. Count on me to be everything you need when you need me. Count on me to be your backbone. Count on me to be your strength. Count on me to be there for you when no one else is. Who am I? I'm you. I'm every version of you. I'm every part of you. I'm every part of your being. I'm the reflection in the mirror. I'm the one that looks back when you tells you that you are more than what you keep imagining. I'm the one that keeps telling you that it's possible for you. I'm the one that tries to tell you to do things and dare, and then you talk yourself out of it by believing your fears are louder than your faith.
The people that win in life don't necessarily have more vision than you. See, it's not a lack of vision always that means that you are going to lose. It's a lack of a type of vision, which is depth perception. You think you're further away from the outcome, and so you pace yourself like it, and you jog all the time throughout your life. The people that win may have a bigger vision, but they have accurate depth perception. They understand how close their goals are, how close their outcome is, and they're constantly in a sprint to get there throughout their day. That means consequently, they get started earlier and they finish later. They get up earlier. Throughout the day, they're in a bigger hurry to get to the places they need to be because the finish line in their mind is so much closer.
Blaming others is excusing yourself. Here is a huge idea. Everything that terrifies you is your doorway into possibility. Everyone who comes into your life that activates an ancient wound is a spiritual professor.
The people who have broken your heart are the very people who have come into your life to open your heart.
People can make up a mission statement, an ethos in which they want to live by. And every morning you wake up, you hold yourself accountable to that mission, not a company's, your own. Make up your own mission statement. What do you want to be in life? And once you do that, now you can work with somebody to get better. You can work with yourself to get better. But until you know what you want to stand for, you will always just be sitting down. You'll never stand for anything.
You have to believe that there is everything you need inside of your toolkit, inside of your heart. It's in there. The ability to get over brokenness, it's in there. The ability to believe again, it's in there. You got to be able to count on you when no one else does. You have to begin there, because in order for others to believe in you, you must show them that you believe in you. You have to believe you can count on you. And not only do you count, but when you begin to count, you'll see that you're worth way more than you ever imagined. You're worth more than dollars and cents. You're worth eternity. You're worth everything that you can calculate up and then some.
When you gonna get to a point where you say, you know what? Man, I wasn't just created just to live average. I wasn't just created to live broken. I wasn't just created to just go through the motions. I wasn't just created to be a watcher. I wasn't created just to be a wisher. I was created to be something greater. And I know it's hard to believe when it's in your storm. How do I know? Because I was that same person.
Don't be finished. Be starting. Be alert. Be ready. Be attacking. Be relentless. And when your feelings are screaming that you've had enough, and when you think you're gonna break emotionally, you gotta override that emotion with the concrete logic and willpower that says, you know what? I don't stop.
The sun doesn't shine every day. The storms will come. There are times when the nights will be long and dark and you will be alone. There will be times when the darkness seems to consume everything. But don't let it consume you. Don't let it consume you.
Suffering is a byproduct of the unknown. And that's why we will project out into the future and go, what if? Because suffering does introduce a man, or discomfort does introduce a man or a woman to their highest self. I call it the other room. Like in your head, in everybody's head, like there's this other place that you can go to. You may have been there before. And this other room, this other place, you get to meet your other self.
The comfort zone is dangerous. When you're comfortable, you are at most danger. You should never feel comfortable. You should be happy and dissatisfied. You should never be satisfied with what you got. Because the attempt to get more makes you into something better all the time.
Lazy people do a little work and think they should be winning, but winners work as hard as possible and still worry if they're being lazy.
Passion. Passion is that fire that you hold in your heart that will make you find a cause to pour your life into. Passion is the thing that made you get up this morning and say, I'm going to run, I'm going to lift, I'm going to go after my goals. Passion is the most powerful motivator that you can have. It's something that must be given to you by God, and you must sharpen its tool and put it to work. When it comes to passion, you have to realize that it will increase your willpower. It is the thing that is like weights. You start off at one level. The more that you work with, the more you pour into it, the stronger, the more powerful you will become.
That's when human beings change. It's like if you want to take the island and you're the head of the army, you want to take the island, the most powerful way to take the island is burn the boats. Because if there's no way to go back, it's amazing what happens when it's a must to do something versus a should.
Even in the darkest times, even in the strongest storms, even when the sun is blotted out and the world is falling apart, the darkness cannot extinguish your light. Your will, your determination, no matter what is happening, no matter how hard the fight is, as long as you keep fighting, you win. Only surrender is defeat. Only quitting is the end. Because the darkness only wins if you've let it. Do not let the darkness win. Fight. Fight on. To fight against the darkness is to win. So fight on.
Good intentions are overrated. I know so many people, I'm going to do that. Yes, I think that's a good idea. I think I'm going to do that. So good intentions are the most overrated phrase in the world. You've got to go from good intentions to good actions. Nothing happens until you've got good actions.
You're not all you could be, and there's pain in that. And there's the necessity for a certain amount of judgment about that, and even a certain amount of exclusion, because what you are that is insufficient, in some sense, should not be allowed to propagate further. But, you know, here's some things about you that are virtuous and good, and they're pretty powerful, actually, and if you just made those more manifest, you could dispense with a lot of this immaturity and misery, and you could start walking this pathway that makes things better. And the thing is that as soon as you start walking the pathway that makes things better, then things immediately become better, because your whole orientation changes. And you know, if you're in a bad place but you're escaping, that's pretty positive.
So find 5 reasons that empower you. Why is it that you deserve your goal? What are the 5 reasons that you won't give up when life catches you on the blind side? When the messenger of misery visits you, what are you going to do? What will keep you in the game when life knocks you to the canvas?
You still have to play the hand that you're given. If you didn't have a father in your life, you got to play your hand. If you didn't have your father in your life, if you did have your father, you got to play your hand. If your family gave you absolutely nothing, you got to steward that. If your family gave you everything, you have to steward that.
We have 2 primary choices in life. We can either accept conditions as they exist, or we can take the responsibility to change them. See, a lot of people want to exempt themselves from taking responsibility. All they want to do is talk about the problem. Every time you see them, they'll tell you their story over and over and over and over again. No. You want to take responsibility for your life. I got me here, I can get me out of this. And I'm getting out. I'm not going to be a volunteer victim.
You need to make it a habit to start every fucking day validating yourself. Because life is a marathon, and this might be a challenging leg where you're like, I'm just gonna throw in the towel. I'm not gonna do that thing. Hell no. If you're standing in front of that mirror, you deserve to feel the support and empowerment and encouragement that you need. You are doing so much every single day that you don't give yourself credit for.
You got to learn to let the past go so you can grow. Many people never act on their dreams because they allow their past experiences to determine what their possibilities are. Whatever you've done in the past, that's not a reflection of your possibilities. That's just a reflection of your consciousness. The future is unfolding for you right now.
What are your fears costing you? I think it's time to evaluate that. What are your fears costing you? You know, we have these weights that weigh us down in our life, these burdens, these fears that we have. You ever stop to think about what it's actually costing you to have these anchors and these weights wearing you down, these fears? The price you will pay to become the person you're worthy of is infinitely smaller than the price you're going to pay if you don't.
It's going to be you meeting the expectation you have for yourself as a man. So you envision this man that you're going to become. And I think most people do that from an early age. They see something they want, an avatar, something they want to do, and they want to go become that person. And I believe the formula for happiness and fulfillment is the gap between your expectation of who you become and your reality. And so a lot of guys are not meeting that expectation for themselves.
If I can flip these insecurities upside down, if I can flip this fear, if I can flip all this that made me this depressed, insecure guy, if I can flip it and make it work for me versus against me, I started seeing the power in failure, the power in insecurity, the power in self-doubt, because I started using that as power.
You understand what it's like to have people tell you that you can't do it. And I'm gonna tell you something, this is the fucking truth, this is the reality, and if you don't like it, I don't give a f. The truth is this: if you're willing to pay the price, and you're willing to do the work, and you're willing to take the time, and you're willing to consistently get up when you are knocked down over and over and over again, which is going to happen to you if you're pursuing anything outside of the norm, you can make it here.
We surround ourselves around people that make us feel great. They tell us what we want to hear. The second we put ourselves amongst the uncommon people, we don't like that feeling. We don't want that person's constantly challenging our weaknesses.
Because life is a marathon. And this might be a challenging leg where you're like, I'm just gonna throw in the towel. I'm not gonna do that thing. Hell no. You are doing so much.
Many of us have genius within us. But when it comes to us, when it comes to using our genius in our own behalf, taking the chance with our own creativeness, acting on our own dreams and ideas, somewhere along the line we get paralyzed. We find some reason not to do it. Oh, I did that. I'm not as good as they are. I don't have the education.
As long as I don't stop trying, it is not failure, it is temporary defeat. And the path to success, the path to fulfillment, the path to happiness is filled with temporary defeats. The path to sadness, the path to regret is filled with failure. Men and women who failed and gave up instead of gotten up and tried again and looked at it as temporary defeat.
How many of you had some situations that you were in that you're overwhelmed with fear? You didn't know how you're going to come out, how you're going to survive, and you did. You survived and you didn't die. So what you got to do, whatever that was, whatever that state of consciousness, whatever that self-confidence that you had, however you stood up within yourself, here's what we know: you survived. Here's what we know: you're still here. You didn't die. You're here right now. You got it and you handled that fear. You kicked it out of there.
You can find every reason, if you look for it, as to why you won't make it. But at the end of the day, there's going to be two groups of people. And one group is going to be a lot fucking bigger than the other. The one group is going to get told that they can't do it. And instead of fighting, those people are going to just take it. Then there's going to be a smaller group. It's going to be the group that says, I'm not willing to just roll over and take what I'm given. I'm not willing to stop trying because you say that I can't fucking do it.
You know, I don't think God gave you another day in your life because you needed it. I think He added another day to your life because somebody needed you. But here's the thing. They need the real you, the authentic you, the one who's playing all out in their life and pursuing their dreams. As good as you think it'll be to make your dreams come true, and dreams that you can't even imagine right now, visions of your life, but maybe even more importantly, as good as you think it would feel to meet the real you, the one you were born to be. And remember this, you were born to do something great with your life. But to finally get introduced or reacquainted or reintroduced to that person, maybe you years ago knew them very well, that version of you. But things have happened, these anchors, these fears, these toxic relationships, whatever they might be, these disappointments in our life.
And so as you begin to look at the fears in back of you, you came through those fears and you're still here. See, that's a testament about how powerful you are. And so whatever the volcano is, you have the capacity to take that volcano, or the capacity to jump in it and find your true identity.
I don't care where you come from, I don't care where you were raised. If you do the work consistently, if you invest in yourself consistently, it's gonna pay off. It just is. And you'll never convince me otherwise.
Yes, you may be not where you want to be. The difference that you have now is you have the awareness that you want to do something about it.
We want that person who's constantly, making us feel nice and good and secure in ours. That's the mediocrity of life. We want to be the best amongst the average people. People wonder, how do you stay hungry all the time? Because after I accomplish something, I don't sit back like they get comfortable. They wonder why I'm getting weak, man. I don't know, I've lost my edge. What's going on? Because once you hit the top of the mountain, guess what happened? I'm good. I'm good, so you wonder why you're falling down now. You gain knowledge through suffering. And on the other end of suffering is a world that very few have ever seen.
When you pray for rain, you gotta deal with the mud too.
Here, there's no such thing as a weekend. This is an everyday gig. Every day is a Monday. And you might not like that. Me, I love it. To me, every day is a beginning, a new day, a new week, a new shot at life.
Our issue is depth perception. We think it's further away than it is. And because we think it's so far away, we create patterns and behaviors in our life that perpetually keep it there. And that's what we do in our life. But what if that's the great lie of life? And what if the truth is that you're one relationship away, one meeting away, one new tactic or strategy away from completely changing the trajectory of your life? The truth is, it was one decision, one meeting, one extra rep, one more phone call, one thing they did that changed their trajectory.
That inner conversation, ladies and gentlemen, is the reason that most people take their greatness, take their ideas to the graveyard with it. You know, the wealthiest place on the planet is not the gold mines in the various areas of the world or the diamond mines. The wealthiest place on the planet is the graveyard. Because in the graveyard, we will find inventions that we never, ever were exposed to. Ideas, dreams that never became reality. Hopes and aspirations that were never acted upon. Because most people allow that inner conversation, for whatever reason, to keep them from ever pursuing their goals.
When the world tries to get your head up in the clouds, let your humbleness keep your feet on the ground. When the world tries to get your head up in the clouds, let your humbleness, right? Let your appreciation, let your gratitude, let you remembering where you came from, let you remembering your mission, keep your feet on the ground. As you grow, don't lose yourself. As people praise you, don't put yourself on a pedestal. As you continue to climb, don't feel like you are entitled to everything, because entitlement leads to destruction.
Instead of going backward, instead of decaying, get stronger. Get better, grow and learn and develop and live. Live in defiance of the weakness and in rebellion against the decay. Fight them as they creep in with their offers of instant gratification and immediate rewards.
But when it's your time, Your time is, it doesn't matter who's on the team. If it's your time, that means your talent, your head knowledge, your heart, and your skill set in practice have come together so that you can step into the moment. When it's your time, no one can deny you. When it's your time, everyone can see it coming. You can feel it, you can sense it, you can own it, and you take dominion over that moment because it's your time. But if you wait on your turn, that's a sense of entitlement. Waiting for someone else to vacate a position is not how you get elevated. You learn, you watch them, you study them, and then you turn that idol into a rival. You battle for the position, you battle for the moment, and you discover what's deep inside of you.
Why is it that most people don't ever reach their goals or live up to their true potential? One is fear. And there are only two kinds of fears that we're born with: the fear of falling and the fear of a loud sound. All other fears we learn, like the fear of failure.
If you can survive the temporary, even our bodies are temporary, only our souls are permanent. If you can survive the temporary, on the other side of temporary pain, you meet another version of yourself.
Many people who believe because of where they're born, because of the area where they are in life and where they find themselves, that's all they know. See, I know something about you, even not knowing you, that you've got greatness within you. You have the ability to do things that you can't even begin to imagine. You have talents and skills in you that you haven't even begun to reach for yet.
You rub against that iron so that iron can sharpen iron and make you into a weapon that no one else can defeat, because you can not be defeated by the battlefield of your own mind. You will not lose when someone else tries to play mind games. Because that's where winners are made. It's in the heart, it's in the mind. When it's your turn, you won't win. When it's your time, you can't lose.
This thing, pursuing success, becoming someone who is abnormal, becoming someone who sets the fucking standard for others, becoming someone who shows the rest of the world what is possible, is a very difficult path.
The biggest thing in life that you have to do is you have to be proud of yourself. And the most important conversation we'll ever have is one we have with ourselves.
Fight. Go down swinging. And I'll tell you, if you fight with all you have, more often than not, you won't go down at all. You will win. But you have to make that attitude a part of your everyday life. Do the extra repetition. Run the extra mile. Go the extra round. Make the right choices. Give the full measure. Make yourself stronger, mentally and physically. Stand and fight.
And so I've been intrigued with, can you be committed to the process of what you do without being emotionally attached to the result of what you do? Because a lot of people can be committed to the process of what they do if the results don't change. But the moment the result or the outcome changes of what they're chasing, they shut it down or they quit simply because the result changed. So can we be committed to the process of what we do, but not emotionally to the result of what we do, understanding every day I get up and give everything I got to everything I'm a part of simply because this is who I am?
Fight against weakness, against fear, against time, and against decay. Fight back. Go down swinging. Give every day everything you've got. The sun doesn't shine every day. The storms will come. There are times when the nights will be long and dark and you will be alone. There will be times when the darkness seems to consume everything. But don't let it consume you. Don't let it consume you.
Suffering is a byproduct of the unknown. And that's why we will project out into the future and go, what if? Because suffering does introduce a man, or discomfort does introduce a man or a woman to their highest self. I call it the other room. Like in your head, in everybody's head, like there's this other place that you can go to. You may have been there before. And this other room, this other place, you get to meet your other self.
The comfort zone is dangerous. When you're comfortable, you are at most danger. You should never feel comfortable. You should be happy and dissatisfied. You should never be satisfied with what you got. Because the attempt to get more makes you into something better all the time.
Lazy people do a little work and think they should be winning, but winners work as hard as possible and still worry if they're being lazy.
Passion. Passion is that fire that you hold in your heart that will make you find a cause to pour your life into. Passion is the thing that made you get up this morning and say, I'm going to run, I'm going to lift, I'm going to go after my goals. Passion is the most powerful motivator that you can have. It's something that must be given to you by God, and you must sharpen its tool and put it to work. When it comes to passion, you have to realize that it will increase your willpower. It is the thing that is like weights. You start off at one level, and the more that you work on, the more you pour into it, the stronger, the more powerful you will become.
That's when human beings change. It's like if you want to take the island and you're the head of the army, you want to take the island, the most powerful way to take the island is burn the boats. Because if there's no way to go back, it's amazing what happens when it's a must to do something versus a should.
Even in the darkest times, even in the strongest storms, even when the sun is blotted out and the world is falling apart, the darkness cannot extinguish your light. Your will, your determination, no matter what is happening, no matter how hard the fight is, as long as you keep fighting, you win. Only surrender is defeat. Only quitting is the end. Because the darkness only wins if you let it. Do not let the darkness win. Fight. Fight on. To fight against the darkness is to win. So fight on.
Good intentions are overrated. I know so many people, well, I'm going to do that. Yes, I think that's a good idea. I think I'm going to do that. So good intentions are the most overrated phrase in the world. You've got to go from good intentions to good actions. Nothing happens until you've got good actions.
You're not all you could be, and there's pain in that. And there's the necessity for a certain amount of judgment about that, and even a certain amount of exclusion, because what you are that is insufficient, in some sense, should not be allowed to propagate further. But, you know, here's some things about you that are virtuous and good, and they're pretty powerful, actually, and if you just made those more manifest, you could dispense with a lot of this immaturity and misery, and you could start walking this pathway that makes things better. And the thing is that as soon as you start walking the pathway that makes things better, then things immediately become better because your whole orientation changes. And, you know, if you're in a bad place but you're escaping, that's pretty positive.
So find 5 reasons that empower you. Why is it that you deserve your goal? What are the 5 reasons that you won't give up when life catches you on the blind side? When the messenger of misery visits you, what are you going to do? What will keep you in the game when life knocks you to the canvas?
You still have to play the hand that you're given. If you didn't have a father in your life, you got to play your hand. If you didn't have your father in your life, if you did have your father, you got to play your hand.
If your family gave you absolutely nothing, you got to steward that. If your family gave you everything, you have to steward that.
We have two primary choices in life. We can either accept conditions as they exist, or we can take the responsibility to change them. See, a lot of people want to exempt themselves from taking responsibility. All they want to do is talk about the problem. Every time you see them, they'll tell you their story over and over and over and over again. No. You want to take responsibility for your life. I got me here, I can get me out of this. And I'm getting out. I'm not going to be a volunteer victim.
You need to make it a habit to start every fucking day validating yourself. Because life is a marathon, and this might be a challenging leg where you're like, I'm just gonna throw in the towel. I'm not gonna do that thing. Hell no. If you're standing in front of that mirror, you deserve to feel the support and empowerment and encouragement that you need. You are doing so much every single day that you don't give yourself credit for.
You got to learn to let the past go so you can grow. Many people never act on their dreams because they allow their past experiences to determine what their possibilities are. Whatever you've done in the past, that's not a reflection of your possibilities. That's just a reflection of your consciousness. The future is unfolding for you right now.
No more. No more. No more excuses. No more, I'll start tomorrow. No more, just this one time. No more accepting the shortfalls of my own will. No more taking the easy road. No more bowing down to whatever unhealthy or unproductive thoughts that float through my mind. No. No more.
I don't want you to be a fucking loser. What if you told people the story of, hey, I had a fucked up life, but I don't want to tell you that. I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do next, and I'm going to go out and do it. That is what self-development is about. That is what peak performance is about. That is what breaking through self-limiting beliefs is about, is rewriting the story, because as long as you have breath in your lungs, as long as your heart is beating, as long as you have consciousness in your mind, you can go and rewrite the story of how your life ends and how your life continues from this day forward, the legacy that you live.
God made you for a purpose on purpose. And the truth about it is, most people ain't gonna understand it because they didn't create you. Stop letting people, quote this, stop letting people that didn't create you control you. You're allowing human beings that are living their perspective and respect to it. You're allowing people that's living their life, their truths, all those things that are putting those on you, and you're feeling guilty, you're feeling bad, you're feeling like you're not enough, with people that don't even know their own worth. You're allowing people that don't even know who they are to put labels on yourself for you to question who you are.
No more waiting for the perfect moment. No more indecision. No more lies.
And say, in spite of this, I'm in control here. I'm not going to let this get me down. I'm not going to let this destroy me. I'm coming back, and I'll be stronger and better because of it. You have got to make a declaration that this is what you stand for. You're standing up for your dreams. You're standing up for peace of mind. You're standing up for health. You want it, and you're going to go all out to have it. It's not going to be easy. When you want to change, it's not easy. If it were in fact easy, everybody would do it. But if you're serious, you'll go all out.
Fear is not real. The only place that fear can exist is in our thoughts of the future. It is a product of our imagination, causing us to fear things that do not at present and may not ever exist.
And no more weakness. No, now is the time for strength. And through strength and through will and through unwavering discipline, I will become what I want to be. I will become who I want to be. And then, and only then, will I rest and say no more.
What do you do when death comes to your door? When sadness and sorrow comes and accompanies it? When the person that you looked up to the most is gone, the person you were closest to is gone? How do you channel that grief into something that can give you relief? What you do is you buckle down. In order to buckle down, you gotta dress up for battle. You gotta remember that you're a soldier and that life still has purpose and value and need, and it needs you. Your skill set is still fresh, your talents are still available, your head knowledge is still useful. You have to be able to get in gear, get in position, and remember your ranking, your calling, and rely upon the training of life that you've been given, and step into the arena of life and be ready for war because you are a warrior. What can you become? What can you do with the time that you have? Tomorrow's not promised, so we have to do it today. We have to make a decision right here, right now. Will you be someone that can overcome grief? Can you find relief by finding your purpose in life? Can you believe again? Can you dream again? Can you love again? The answer is absolutely yes, because you are a warrior.
The thing that's so interesting about being alive is that you're all in. No matter what you do, you're all in. This is going to kill you. So I think you might as well play the most magnificent game you can while you're waiting. Because do you have anything better to do? Why not pick the best thing possible that you can do? Because you're more powerful than you think. Way more powerful than you think. I mean, God only knows what you are in the final analysis. You're blind to your own weaknesses, but you're also blind to your own strengths. How far can you take that? If you stopped wasting time, and if you stopped lying, if you oriented yourself to the highest possible good that you could conceive of, and you committed to that, how much good could you do? Well, I would say, why don't you find out?
We're all looking for this golden purpose. Is it this? Is it that? Is it making money? Is it my family? Motherfucker, the purpose is you. Every fucking day I wake up and I don't want to do some fucking shit. I'm like, okay, man, do you want to be a bitch today? You want to walk around all day knowing that you could, but you didn't? You're in the fucking dungeon. But guess what, motherfucker? I'm still going to get it.
And do not misunderstand me. Danger is very real, but fear is a choice. We are all telling ourselves a story.
Rise up and aggressively move forward down the path toward victory.
I'll get around to being happy. I'll get around to making my masterpiece of my life. I'll get around to my dreams. I'm gonna get around to fixing this relationship that's broken. I'm gonna get around to feeling those emotions. And then it's another day, and they keep it in the distance until there are no more days. And I don't care if you're 18 years old listening to this, 28 or 48. We don't know if we have one more day or 100 more days or 1,000 more days. But we know this, there'll eventually be a time where we don't have any more days.
Most things that never get done because they never get started. You procrastinate. Procrastination is a killer. It kills plans, and it kills projects, and it kills dreams.
On the other side of temporary pain, you meet your other self.
So all pain, no matter what it is temporary. And if you can survive it, on the other side of it, you will meet personality traits, emotions, thoughts, people, circumstances, versions of you that you didn't know existed before. I'm up here not because I'm super impressive, because I'm not. Every time I wanted to quit this business, I didn't make a decision to not quit the rest of my life. I made a decision not to quit for one more day. One more day, just don't quit. One more day, hang on.
It all starts with you. Some of you are in situations, man, that you know what it is, right? You know what it is. Maybe it's a friendship, maybe it's a relationship, maybe a job, right? Some of you are in situations that you know what it is, but you're choosing to stay in it, that you're choosing to accept it. And you wonder why things ain't changing in your life. You know, you want all these things to happen for your life, but you don't want to put in the work, you don't want to put in the sacrifice, you don't want to go through the journey that sucks to get to the mountain peak that's beautiful. Some of you are choosing a lot of things in your life that's keeping you from everything that you were created to be. Everything.
Your feelings don't matter. You may feel like doing something, maybe you don't feel like doing something. Doesn't matter. Get out there and do what you're supposed to do, whether you feel like it or not.
It is a true saying that everyone must die, but not everyone lives, truly lives. Because not everyone is willing to pay the toll or the risk, the price of glory. You have to have the courage to do it. You must be willing to say that I want everything that is supposed to be mine. But I'm not going to sit here with entitlement. I'm going to stay here and have enrichment. I'm going to enrich my life by being around people that will push me to be more, do more, and become more, so that I can serve more.
There is a blessing in everything. Pain always leaves a gift. Always. It's not going to change for you. Don't worry about the people that God has removed from your life. He saw things you didn't see. He heard conversations you couldn't hear, and he made moves you wouldn't make.
You can become someone epic, or you can be someone tragic. It is a choice that you make every single day. So drop the fear, take a deep breath, embrace that life, and use it as wind to get your cells going so that you can move forward in life.
Use what you have. And a lot more people have pain. A lot more people have anger. A lot more people have shame. And if you can use that as your gas in the beginning, you'll eventually get to a point where you can get out of that loop and then find something that you are really passionate about. Tony Robbins quote, but it's just when the pain of staying the same is greater than the pain of change. And I think that pain moves people far, far more effectively than pleasure does.
They aren't going to see your vision unless you do the work. Unless you type those words, cut that wood, write that code, unless you do the work, the world will never see your vision. And all that splendor and all that glory will be known only to you. Unless you bring it to life.
You've got to bet on you. You believe in everybody else, you clap for everybody else, you support everybody else, you're baking cakes and making cooking for everybody else. But when are you going to look in the mirror and believe in the darn person you see?
I prefer negative visualization, which is, what if I keep doing what I'm currently doing for the next 10 years? What will my life look like then? That usually takes my current pain and then just magnifies it. And then that allows me to get my action threshold high enough that it goes over the edge so that I can take that first move. And so if you know what the inputs outputs are of what you need to do, and you figure out whatever fuel you've got, not the one you wish you had, but the one you've got, and you use that to do the first input, you cross the line. You're in the game.
The air of the brave is different. The air of the brave is to be admired. The air of the brave lives forever, but only a few will ever be that ultimate warrior. You see, warriors should suffer their pain silently. You go ahead and you keep going.
To overcome that fear, you have to pull the trigger. You have to initiate action. So do not pause in that moment. Fight the procrastination with violence of action and get done the things you need to get done, and get them done now.
I want you today to decide, I am going to become disciplined. That should be your only fucking goal. Because if you develop the ability to say no to the guys' nights, to the alcohol, if you develop that discipline, how different will your life look a year from now?